Yo, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy GZTV back with another video, and in this video, we are going to be talking about the 6th episode of You Season 5, the final season of the entire show, where we have a lot to get into. This episode reveals Beck's connection to Bronte, intensifying the plot. I mean, everything's starting to make sense. There are so many full circle moments in this episode. Can't wait to get into it with you guys. Louise infiltrates Joe's life, signaling a dangerous, suspenseful turn as she debates his innocence. A dramatic twist at the end of the episode involving Kate showcases Joe's manipulation and sinister nature. There's so much to unpack here. And by the way, real quickly on my screen, I'm going to be posting all of my accounts and links and all of that stuff right now. So I'm going to take a couple seconds, freeze the frame, and let you guys, follow my accounts. I got links on there. I got names of my profiles. I just wanted to put that on this video so I don't have to put it in the description. Now that that is out of the way, you guys have my Snapchat, my Instagram, all that. Make sure you guys go check me out over there. This season has a lot to accomplish. Fans hoped to see several characters again and had a lot of ideas about Joe Goldberg's final episodes. Whether or not some familiar faces pop up again, the 5th and final season has introduced some excellent new characters, including Bronte, who becomes a big and important part of Joe and Kate Lockwood's life in New York City. I mean, she is a fucking homewrecker, like, if I'm being honest, but it's one of the more justifiable homewreckers I have ever seen in television history. It is absolutely unreal. This episode puts the spotlight on Bronte, shares more about her, and it's a gripping episode that proves that several seasons in, You hasn't run out of steam. And honestly, yeah, it focuses on Bronte. It's the best episode of the season. I mean, this is so good. Ever since Bronte first appeared in Moonies, her literary interest and mysterious nature were intriguing, and it's great to learn more about this character. It's great for the show to take an entire episode literally to go through how she met Joe, kind of what her backstory was, what her intentions were. Holy shit, I'm so hyped about this episode right now. And it's honestly fitting that they did this because we still had 5 episodes left and they caught Joe in the act, so you knew there had to be not filler but some backstory in there. But with that being said, we're just gonna have a giant discussion, kind of talk about the plot. Let's get into it. The episode is called The Dark Face of Love. It shares Bronte's real reason for pursuing Joe. She knew Guinevere Beck, and she knew all along that Joe Goldberg was the sinister mastermind behind the murder of Guinevere Beck. The episode begins by sharing that Joe has been arrested, but Kate's lawyers bail him out, of course. While it might be frustrating to see Joe go free once again, it's too early in the season for him to be caught for good, so it makes sense that this was the decision. You can't just throw him into jail. He's the driving force behind your show. You have to at least keep him out in the wild until, the end of this season, and that's exactly what they're going to do. It sucks that that's kind of expected, but there you go. Then, as Detective Marquez, who's a new character played by Nava Mao, questions Lois, Bronte's real name, a smart flashback shows Louise and Beck talking about the play A Doll's House. I really fucking hate that name, Bronte's real name, because I don't know if I should call her like the masculine version like the other characters in the show did, or say like Lois. I don't even know. This was a clue that Lois was catfishing Joe as she talked about the playwright with Joe. The eerie teaser hinted at everything that was to come, but Joe didn't anticipate someone knowing all about his dark history. There's someone that literally knows everything. Like, not even Kate Lockwood knows some of these things that Bronte, just gonna call her Bronte. Bronte dug so deep at. It's eerie. It's pretty crazy. Lois's backstory is shared. Bronte's backstory is shared as she tells Beck she's dropping out of college to take care of her mom, who's very sick. Now, obviously, this was general knowledge. We knew that her mom was sick and that she had to get out of school for that, yada yada yada. Beck gives Lois a book, tells her not to give up on her writing aspirations, and writes, "Keep it to remember me by." Just kind of chilling, looking back on it. All the memes about Joe Goldberg's double life are reminders of how well he hides in plain sight, and while Bronte doesn't know who Joe is at this point in the story, she's shocked to see a TV news story about Beck's death, and this is just kind of the turning point. Again, this entire episode is a flashback, like we're going back into the life of Bronte and who she was before she met Joe Goldberg and why he got framed and what the hell just happened here. Obviously just explaining what happened last episode, because we can't, obviously it's nice to have cliffhangers, but we can't completely leave fans in the dust, so why not? In the dust. Lois proves she's perceptive and should follow her gut instincts when she reads Beck's book, which was published after her death, and thinks that parts don't sound like her. Like someone like Joe, for instance, or whoever murdered her, came in, finished the book to make it look innocent or whatever, cover up. After doing some online research, Lois gets in touch via a forum with Dominique, who we've seen in past episodes but get fully introduced to here. She is Natasha Benham, or who plays her. We know Clayton is Tom Francis. We have Phoenix. Her name is B. Her actual name is B. I'm not even joking. Lowercase b. Who are looking into Beck's possible murder. So the power of Reddit, I guess. You know, these people are getting together. They're acting like detectives and whatnot, and it's fucking crazy that they're here. Then a big twist. Clayton is Dr. Nicky's son, who was John Stamos from last season. Since Joe framed Dr. Nicky for Beck's death back in the first season, Clayton wants Joe to be punished. I mean, he has stuff at stakes here, and it's so fucking intricate, and I really like how this show is starting to reveal all the other characters, and again, their motivations, what they're doing here. I thought that was great to have those storylines introduced in this episode. Bronte explains to Detective Marquez that she asked to live with Dom in New York City so she could catfish Joe and get him and catch him. She got close to Joe, saw his horrifying cage, and learned Joe was a romantic. I mean, he was. I mean, she's really not wrong with that. Lois and Clayton pretended to have dated, you know, kind of trying to spark some jealousy, trying to kind of get something out of Joe. Marquez asked Lois when she became intimate with Joe, a smart scene that proves others can see right through Lois, who has fallen in love with Joe. She continued her friend's plan, but wonders if Joe is innocent. This is a crucial moment in this season since Joe has harmed so many past characters, and if Lois can't stop him, can anyone? And imagine, you know, if his innocent, her mindset of him being innocent stayed in her mind, she probably would have died. So how does it end? You know, a lot of things are wrapping up. Again, the show does a really good job, especially in the season, of really ramping up the tension, ramping up the action towards the end of the episode, which I think is awesome. So this episode ends with Kate trying to get the video of Joe taken down and yelling at him for it, of course, just as Kate is complicit and tells her, "If I go down, so do you," which is a really fucked up, really insensitive threat, considering she just got you out of jail with her lawyers, and you're really not shit without her. And Joe has a lot of arrogance. He has a lot of fucking balls, a lot of fucking audacity to talk to this girl this way. I'm just saying. Kate says Henry is safe, and this episode ends with a big twist. Kate put a temporary custody agreement in the papers Joe signed, and obviously he was so out of it, he was so crazed that he couldn't see that. Now he has no control over Henry. When Joe tries to hit Kate, she pushes him and lets him know armed bodyguards are waiting, and he leaves. Penn Badgley often talks about Joe's evil nature in interviews, and even made a video once where he tells Joe to become a better person. But as viewers have seen as the season continues, Joe is still Joe. The scene with Kate is as disturbing as some of his most gruesome kills, because Joe truly believes that he should be allowed to raise his child. He should be allowed to have the rights to be a father and all these different things, when based on the evidence given here, I don't think you should, Joe. So there you have it. Bronte, Lois, whatever, calls Dom and says she shouldn't continue their plan since Joe is at the cottage. He is here. He wasn't supposed to get here. She was trying to draw him away. She didn't do that. She did the opposite. It turns out Clayton posted on social media to mess with Joe and make him think Lois got back together with him. So Clayton this whole time was really trying to get Joe pissed off, really trying to fucking clip farm and rage bait this motherfucker so he could come back and they could frame him for something. Lois proves she has been charmed by Joe when she says that while Clayton thinks Joe kills his partners, he wouldn't kill her. Of course, viewers know that Joe has put several people in his terrifying cage and that he should be avoided at all cost. The episode wraps up with the police officer asking Lois if Joe killed Clayton in self-defense, and this is pretty fucking important. This is massive, this detail here. Lois could turn Joe in now and this could all be over, but of course this story must play out a little longer. I feel like there is some plot convenience here, yeah, maybe they did want to kind of milk the show a little bit longer. Lois says yes and leaves the police station yeah, it was self-defense. And in all fairness, she is telling the truth. Clayton did start the fight. He came in all pissed off at Bronte, caused an uproar, kind of punched Joe first. She's right. But he was trying to do that so Joe would retaliate and they would be able to get Joe in trouble. And Lois, Bronte, whatever, is kind of going against that. Then Joe proves he wants to beat Lois at her game when he finds a hidden camera and a book in the apartment. He says, "Hi, Bronte." What a chilling way to end this episode. Now it is basically Joe versus Bronte. And obviously he's already fighting with Kate, but I think he's really shifted his attention to Bronte. That's the plot. Just speaking on this in generalities, man, this episode was fucking incredible. I love these flashback episodes, and I feel like the show has kind of attempted to do that a few times pretty successfully. I like when they do this. I like how they're tying everything together and making sure the audience understands why exactly Bronte had such a change of heart. She really didn't this whole time. She wanted to frame Joe. She wanted to get him in trouble because she cared about Guinevere Beck. Guinevere Beck was someone she built connections to through a university in New York. There's so many fucking lies told about this girl. We don't even know who this girl is anymore, and that's why Bronte is such an important character. That's why she's such an awesome character, I feel like, in the show, because man, you never really truly know who this character is. We're 6 seasons in. She's been in 6 episodes. She's been in 6 episodes, and we still don't even know who this person is truly. And that's so cool. I love the mystery behind that. Oh, I'm sorry if my fucking recording is fucking lagging the fuck out. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to ignore it. I might have to put a video over it or something, but there you go. I don't really have much to say. Really fucking awesome episode. Probably the best episode of the season so far, and I feel like it could be said for any subsequent episode. I think it's just gonna keep getting better and better. The story just gets juicier and juicier. The creators are showing more and more, throwing more and more stuff at us. Announcement, obviously I'm going to Summer Smash. I will give you guys an announcement on Tuesday of some content I'm going to do to prepare for that, so stay tuned here in the next couple of days. Well, actually, basically like 24 hours from now, I should have something posted. There you go. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. As always, it's been your boy GZTV, you know, kind of doing these short form reviews, 10, 11, 9 to 11 minutes, whatever. I really have enjoyed, you know, giving you guys these episode reviews. Let me know what you guys think of them in the comments down below. Stay tuned for some more content on the show, baby.